This deeply emotional story of a young Saudi prince has moved millions across the globe. Once full of promise, his life took a tragic turn, and for 20 long years, he was known as the Sleeping Prince. After spending half his life in a coma, he passed away at just 36. But what really happened in his final days? Why did only his father care for him so publicly? What was the real cause of his death? And who was the woman he was once set to marry? Stay with us as we uncover the heartbreaking truth behind the life and death of the Sleeping Prince. Let's begin. The Saudi royal family is one of the most influential and wealthiest dynasties in the world. Prince Al-Waleed bin Khalid bin Talal was born into this powerful lineage, a grandson of a former Saudi king. He was raised in luxury, privilege, and opportunity. At just 16, he was sent to study at a prestigious military academy in London. Intelligent, determined, and royal by blood, his future looked incredibly bright. But then came the day that changed everything. A horrific car crash altered his destiny forever. Driving at high speed, his vehicle slammed into a concrete barrier. He suffered a catastrophic head injury and severe brain trauma. Two of his friends were with him in the car. They survived with minor injuries. In what became a powerful anecdote, witnesses said that before slipping into unconsciousness, the prince briefly opened his eyes and asked, "How are my friends?" Then he went silent. That one act of selflessness touched millions and became a symbol of his gentle heart. Doctors fought to keep him alive, but the prognosis was grim. They didn't expect him to live more than a few days. But his father, Prince Khalid, refused to give up. He wouldn't allow the machines to be turned off. "Who am I to take his life?" he said. "If God wished to take him, he already would have." On social media, he posted a photo holding his unconscious son's hand with a message. "The one who preserved his life can also heal him." The prince was transferred to the best medical center in Riyadh. And thus began a 20-year battle for life, the long journey of the Sleeping Prince. But what was hidden behind the headlines of this royal tragedy? What role did classical music and the Quran play in his treatment? Prince Khalid turned his son's care into his life's mission. He spared no expense, hiring elite specialists, testing experimental treatments, and inviting top doctors from the US and Europe. Millions were spent on a chance, no matter how small, to bring Al-Waleed back. Dedicated nurses became part of the family, speaking to the prince daily, turning his body to prevent bedsores, and treating him like he could hear everything. The only sounds in the room were the beeping of machines and the voices of loved ones reading to him. After 10 years, he was moved from the hospital to a specially equipped room in the royal palace, essentially a home ICU. There, his father came every single day to speak, to read, and to share stories from the outside world. "I believe he hears me," Khalid would say, stroking his son's hand with hope. Then came a moment that changed everything. Al-Waleed began responding. He turned his head slightly when voices spoke to him, especially when the Quran was recited. The family even brought in musicians to play classical pieces, hoping music might awaken something within him. Though the expenses were immense, they meant nothing to Prince Khalid. His son's life was priceless. Then came a glimmer of hope. A video shared by his cousin, Princess Rima, showed the prince moving his head. Later, during a routine procedure, a nurse captured him moving his fingers on video. "Good job, do it again," she cried, her voice filled with emotion. These moments went viral. Videos of the Sleeping Prince began circulating globally, touching millions and reigniting hope for a miracle. For Khalid, these tiny movements were everything. But doctors remained cautious, reminding the world that such movements can occur in a vegetative state and aren't always signs of recovery. Yet, for a father, hope never dies. He believed every twitch was a sign that his son was still fighting. As the story gained international attention, one question echoed again and again: where was his mother? Most coverage centered on Khalid's tireless devotion. He became the face of his son's battle, sharing regular updates, posting videos, and receiving global support. His mother, however, remained in the background. Like many Muslim women, she chose privacy over publicity. She wasn't seen, but those close to the family say she suffered just as deeply, grieving, hoping, and praying away from the cameras. Rumors swirled that Prince Al-Waleed had once been engaged, possibly to his cousin, in a marriage arranged since childhood. The story goes that she never married and continued visiting the family quietly. Though never confirmed, it gave people another symbol of undying love to believe in. Tragically, young royals across the Arab world have faced similar fates. Speed, adventure, and the thrill of freedom often end in disaster. Dubai's Prince Rashid Al Maktoum and Sheikh Khalid Al Qasimi of Sharjah both lived boldly and died too soon. Even Prince Abdul Azim of Brunei, who turned to filmmaking, and Prince Abdul Jalil of Malaysia, who became a beloved figure, met untimely ends. But unlike Al-Waleed, they had time to leave their mark on the world. Al-Waleed, however, was only 15 when his life came to a halt. For 2 decades, he existed under medical care, trapped in time. His 36th birthday was quiet, like all the others since his accident. The room was decorated, but only close family gathered. No one knew it would be his last. Doctors had long said his case was extraordinary. Very few people remain in a coma for so long. But slowly, over the years, his body began to break down. Infections, organ failure, and finally, his heart gave out. After 20 years of struggle, Al-Waleed's heart stopped. His father shared the heartbreaking news on his personal blog, quoting verses from the Quran. With hearts accepting God's will and deep sorrow, we mourn our beloved son. May Allah have mercy on him. The news spread fast, and condolences poured in from around the world. The sleeping prince had finally found peace. His story is a powerful reminder: life is fragile, and tragedy knows no boundaries. It doesn't spare the rich, the royal, or the young. But what truly matters is how we face such pain with love, patience, and unshakable faith, just as his family did. Al-Waleed will forever be remembered as the sleeping prince, a symbol of devotion, endurance, and the eternal bond between a father and his son. What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking story? Share them below. Don't forget to like and share this video if you were moved by it. Until next time.